Hi everyone, this is Tiffany, also known as the Perfectly Wise. I'm coming here with actually for this month I was drawn to complete uh, intuitive guidance session, community update, energy community update actually for July and August. So actually this session is going to be the summer intuitive guidance session, energy community update. So this is going to be for the months of July and August. And I'm actually also get right into it. Other than the phrasing, I was getting the phrasing as I was tapping in, the phrasing, the freedom way. That's all the phrasing that they gave me. They didn't really allow me to kind of delve into what that means or really anything like that, or pull apart really anything on the first glance there as far as insight. So not sure what that's all about. So we'll just kind of jump and get right into it. I'm going to be drawing to this month here, or rather for these next 2 months, for July and August, this check-in, this session here, I'm drawing from the Spellcasters deck. So let's go ahead and see what pops up for summer, July and August. All right, let's cut the deck here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let me go ahead and get some water. We're all at a precipice. We're all at a precipice moment right now, and at a critical moment, a critical point moment right now, where we're all negotiating energetically, centered in nurture, centered in self-recovery, centered probably perhaps also in a space of self-reflection, going within, where we're negotiating how do we moving forward here, move forward in such a way wherein we are expressed as the heroes of our own lives and our own existence, where we're brave, also where we feel most protected and supported. How do we bravely move forward, lend energy to ourselves, lend a sense of nurture and care and protection for ourselves, operating perhaps for elite, if not for the first time in our lives, then certainly in uncovering a new layer of heroism within ourselves, as expressed through our lives and through our existences right now. That's what I'm getting off the top here, just as I was cutting the deck here. Interestingly enough, the Chariot was at the bottom of the deck. You might not see the card. Let me see right there, the Chariot. And right now it's interesting, as I'm recording this, I'm recording it kind of slightly a few days into the July month here, July 2021. And right now we're going through a new moon in Cancer lunation, and the Chariot, that card in the tarot, that's the major arcana card for Cancer. So that's just like energetically what I just got there off the top here. I'm getting off the top here. There's some interesting. 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 Oh, wow, interesting. Just off the top here, I'm getting off the top here, there are various directions. Interesting. That's it? Okay. Wow. Just off the top here, I'm getting there are various directions and places that folks there within our community and collectives are in right now. Like these different facets here in this theme here of moving forward, in this theme of mining a sense of direction. I see. It's a moving forward, but more specifically, a sense of direction. Yeah. I'm really drawn to this illustration here of this, like, I believe this is a lotus flower, and the little sunlight that's like right there in the middle of this lotus flower that's on this chariot. I'm really drawn to that illustration. And I'm really drawn to it because I'm getting energetically this notion here at this period of time here, after mastering, and it's interesting because the strength card is at the bottom right below that. Oh, interesting. That also is an energy to come. Wow, okay. And the 8 of Wands below that. And the 4 of, wow, okay. So they're just, wow, this is interesting. They're just kind of giving me everything just right off the top here. Interesting. That's it. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting for many soul beings here. There was a recent period of time here wherein there was a new level of mastery and growth that many soul beings were placed as divinely ordered, as divinely orchestrated in the temperance energy that I'm getting here. One that very well shook up soul beings to the core, shook up the existences of soul beings, many soul beings. That's what I'm getting here. And also as was divinely orchestrated. That's what I'm getting expressed in this tower energy here. There are different qualities here of movement. Yeah, that's what I'm getting captured here in this 8 of Wands energy. There are these different qualities of movement and newfound direction, newly mined direction that came from a period of time where you might have felt yourself like knocked out for the count, placed down on the count. You might have been trying to take action, trying to manifest, trying to kind of get something going, and it just wasn't working. Yeah. It's almost like a period, a moment here where you were knocked down for the count, put into a space of like inaction, of letting things occur because nothing was working in the faculties of the mind and the body. That's what I'm getting here as expressed in this 4 of Swords energy. And a notion here wherein within that period, you almost had to, again, rise to a new space of mastery, as expressed here in this strength energy. Restore in that period of time your energy stores. Restore your will. Restore your determination. Discover it even for the first time. And in a lot of ways there, earn this reputation as the brave, fiery, impassioned master creator of all your dreams and of all your desires. That's what I'm getting here expressed in this embodied Queen of Wands energy. Yeah, that's what I'm getting here. The combination also of this Temperance and Queen of Wands energy is also very interesting, because I'm getting a simultaneous quality of 1, energetic banishment, and 2, cleansing and healing within those 2 energies combined. When I say banishment, I'm speaking to this energy of, for imprints, whether in the mind, in the body, in the soul, of past experiences that have been hanging out within yourself and keeping you trapped in the, you could say, in the metaphorical tower, so to speak. The action and the occurrence of banishment essentially shook those foundations and shook those expressions to their very core. within yourself. I'm getting this is almost like they're almost kind of giving like a summary. Yeah, all of this I'm getting is like a summary. Like essentially kind of capturing, explaining for soul beings, putting some sort of color and context for soul beings around like what happened. Before we even talk about the right now, as we lead ourselves forward with a newfound sense of direction, with a more clear sense of direction, also with a pathway that is a little bit more clear, so to speak. Let's speak to quite clearly here as the insights are coming in. We're getting kind of like an influx of insights you might have been feeling, especially if you were resting, if you were taking time to meditate, if you were taking and embracing. If at some point you sort of recognize, okay, well, I can't manifest anything. Action feels strange. My brain and my mind are going in a million different directions. So my mind almost feels broken and it's not working. My actions feel awkward and weird, and this feels like I'm forcing things. So let me just kind of sit down here and understand, like, what the hell is going on here? Yeah. You might feel here, even most recently here, an influx of information as to like, oh, okay, so that's what that whole period of time was all about. That's why I couldn't take action. That's why things were feeling quite strange and there was a lack of flow. Oh, that's what that was all about. That's what I had to master. That is what has changed and what has shifted. I'm getting for a lot of soul beings right now, particularly it's flowing. I'm getting right now in July, moving forward for August. And to be fair, these, as I think I've said this before for my previous sessions multiple times, despite there being a time-based stamp on all of these sessions, which serves organizational purposes, these energies and as they flow are timeless. These sessions are timeless. So you might find where none of this resonates for you right now. It might in the future, it might have in the past already happened. Energy flows very, very loosely depending on yourself as the soul being. Nothing is fixed there in time. Nothing is linear here in the access point there of true creation, in so fact. But yeah, I'm getting here wherein for many folks here, you might have felt a shift, a very, very tangible shift and a very, very tangible change in direction. Yeah. Yeah, because this Six of Cups energy, I'm getting where like the reflection, the summarization, the reflection, the going back into the past to kind of understand and put some color and context again around what happened. What was that all about? I'm getting where like that's captured quite a bit here in this embodied Six of Cups energy. And there's a notion here, thank you. There's a notion here where if you have not done so, do so. It serves you best here in further clearing your pathway moving forward and making what has been most recently like this shift, this very strong shift, making that feel much more easeful and integrating all the, you could say, the metaphorical rubble and fallout, so to speak, of that shift, making that process a little bit more, at least a lot more, feel a lot more easeful and a lot more comfortable. Yeah, I'm getting that. You feel like you can master that energy that much more. Yeah. There is this access point here. Speaking of like different directions, I would be remiss here if I didn't mention here in this combination of the Strength energy and the Two of Cups energy, I am getting a strong impassioned desire. It's interesting. These two illustrations here, random here, these two illustrations here, I'm drawn to between the Chariot and the Strength energy. As I mentioned before, in this Chariot card, this particular illustration, this lotus flower and the little light beam that's over top of it. In this Strength energy here, you'll see on this side here, there's like the fire that's kind of a little bit in the lotus flower formation shape and like this light beam that's sprouting out of it. it gives me this energy and this feel of like a new life, a new, like something new and fresh that has sprouted most recently from soul beings, that is sprouting from you. You might feel that sprouting from you. But yeah, linking back here to this combination of that strength energy and this Two of Cups energy, I cannot help but feel or perceive here this notion here wherein at this point in time there's a desire to like show off this new version of yourself to others. To connect with someone else, with others, and showing that off, and showing off this new version of yourself, this newfound, newly mined expression of yourself on the other side of this shift energy, as expressed there in this Tower energy. I'm also getting in this combination between the Queen of Wands and the Two of Cups energy. Strong energies here, and as expressed also on the side here with the Strength energy. Strong passion, strong attraction, strong magneticism that is flowing through at this time. It feels very sexy, I'll be quite honest. It feels very sexy. It feels very creative. It feels very impassioned. It feels very magnetic. Yeah. It's a really beautiful energy, if I'm being quite honest. It's very beautiful energy. It's like on the other side of being by yourself and mining this process where you were laid down for the count here and going through a very tough, honestly, like initiation period. It's like now you want to get out and connect with others. You want to get out and connect. Yeah, you want to find your people, if even also your person. I'm just getting a strong impulse here of connection, and where the energies are lending itself well to connect, to form new unions, to form new, really, really profound relationships and connections, like making connections. And a notion there where you stand to be received well, you stand to really be seen, so to speak. Oh, interesting. You also stand to be a soul being here that brings to the table something that is missing on the other side. Like there's a complementary energy that I'm getting here in that expression. I'm also getting where the role of communication and speech, of talking, of networking, of getting out. Like you want to talk. Yeah, you don't want to be holed up. You want to talk. You want to get out. You want to express. Yeah, I'm getting that. And that action is also very healing. That action is healing. And there's a sense of divine guidance that is leading you and pushing you in that direction. Pushing us in that direction. That would make sense. Right now, both Venus and Mars are transiting the same sign of Leo. And Leo, which rules the fifth house of play, creativity, sexual relationships, entertainment. It's a very get out there, bold energy. It's a very much in the spotlight, show off kind of energy. It's a really good energy if you want to say form a new relationship or even just like a summer fling, like that kind of energy. It's a very, 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 very good time for that. So that makes a lot of sense. This expression here also of like, this is the Cups energy here. There's an aspect of this energy that also reflects like play. Play, yes, but also childlike wonder, an expression here. Also innocence. It's really interesting as embodied, for example, here in this combination of the Six of Cups and the Queen of Wands energy, because there's simultaneous like power, presence, like fortitude, like I'm really there and magnetic and sexy and strong and like bold, but I'm also really sweet and innocent and childlike too. There's an innocence and like vulnerability that's also expressed there. It's really beautiful. And I'm getting where, like, for many soul beings here, a long form healing process, as I'm getting here in this temperance energy, as has been simultaneously divinely guided and also assisted, and which has created and manifested many shifts and many dynamic changes along the way, as expressed here in this tower energy. It's like it's allowing you to express yourself in that sort of way, like reveal this whole new personality. Because in so fact here, like your ego is increasingly shed. The need to project a certain false image, like that's shed, that's cleansed. You've mastered that. You get to master that. Yeah, as expressed here in this strength energy. The expressions of your ego where you might want to put up a false front or not be authentic or try to just like also even like necessarily not accept yourself, like not assume that the authentic expression of yourself is somehow not acceptable. It's like you've mastered those assumptions, that's been shifted. Or if you don't feel that and that does not resonate for yourself, you have that opportunity where it can. I'm getting where that energy has the potential here for inspiring that form of transformation and change within soul beings at this time. Because the expression, the full-fledged, free, empowered expression of that version of yourself, that aspect of yourself, that quality of yourself is attractive, is magnetic. Others want to see it. Somebody else in this existence here in the human, as we live here in our human lives, might be like sorely missing that form of connection with others. Might very well so badly want to connect with somebody like that. I want to meet somebody like that. Yeah, I'm getting that. Interesting. Okay, interesting. All right. Yeah, they're telling me put these cards back and then we'll actually shuffle. Let's shuffle here and see what else comes up. But yeah, just for some reason I'm getting that just came through over the top here, off the top here. So let's see what else comes up. Let's put these back here. Okay, we also get some more water. Go ahead and check again. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If you, that's so interesting. Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Just off the top again here. Yeah, and they're almost kind of going back here and doubling down here on this message. If you have not taken due time here, to go into a place of reflection, to go into a place of internal stock taking of self, please do so, because your direction's moving forward and it is very different. There's a market shift in it at any given point in time. Us as soul beings, we always stand to be going forth and changing directions, changing course, being informed newly as far as because our pathways are not linear. Yeah, this sort of came up. I was connecting with a client of mine yesterday, or at least earlier today, and that came up here, and for some reason it seems relevant to bring that up again here. Our pathways as we move forward, as we progress here in what is called here this existence in the earth plane, it's not linear. It's not a linear path to A and B. It's a spiral. It's a whole long form journey, one that is mined with many detours and sojourn walks and ventures in different directions, leading us to that origin perfecting start point, which then is our beginning, which then feeds our end, and so on and so on and such forth. But yeah, I'm just getting here, doubling down here. If you have not taken the time, you need to do this for yourself. Yes, you can seek outside counsel and outside perspectives and talk, but really take that time, because the answer is most importantly within yourself. And you might find here, as you do so, this quality of moving forward in particular lends you, if not a little bit, certainly a lot of it, in moving away from the pack, moving away from your collective, or at least in the consciousness, as expressed in the consciousness and the thoughts and the systems that have taken root and that have informed your packs and respective collectives and community groups. You might find where there is a sense of connection and resonance, and where you defer, and where you need to go forth on your own. And this energy where there's a lot of bravery and boldness with all that Leo energy, we're going into Leo season right now. The Syrian Lions Gate in July, later July, that gate is going to be open. It's going to be going into Leo season. There's a lot of that kind of bravery, bold kind of energy that's going to be circling at that time, certainly carrying from July, moving forward there, in part of August there. Please take that time to do some inventory searching. Please do so. Please embrace silence. Even as you're getting out there, and it's almost like this energy of hot girl summer, getting out there, you're bold, you're magnetic, you're connecting, talking to others, mixing and mingling, and it's all wonderful and sexy and wonderful. Take some time to, please take some time to be by yourself and meditate and rest within yourself. Take some inventory stalking within yourself. Mind the very watery, intuitive, dreamlike expressions of your inner world. Make sure you are nourishing your inner world and going to that world often. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's what I'm getting here in this combination here of the High Priestess and the Eight of Cups. It's a fruitful time to nourish the inner world and mine what is expressed there in the inner world. They're drawing me to the I believe as of right now, Jupiter is retrograde, and both the planets of Jupiter and Neptune are in Pisces. And Piscean energy is very much one, Pisces rules the 12th house, which is of absolution, of meditation. That house, which oftentimes for some reason is very much sort of feared and given a kind of a bad rep there, because it's the house where we really come undone. Yeah, we come undone to ourselves as expressed in the physical world, so to speak. We learn transcendence and we meet transcendence in the 12th house. It's also the house where we meet our angels, our spirit guides, our ancestors. We really mine our inner world, our dreams, in that house and in that expression. So that's where Pisces rules. So, with those two energies here, both Pisces and Neptune, Neptune rules Pisces. The planetary ruler of Pisces is Neptune. So there's a lot of that kind of energy that's circling around, even with all that fire Leo kind of energy there, with the sun soon going into Leo and Mars and Venus, very importantly, going also in Leo and forming later on a conjunction. So yeah, just a reminder of that. But anyways, that's an aside. Okay. Beautiful angels. Ooh. Oh. There's transformation and massive change here. But we want you, and ask yourself if you're ready to embrace this change. The death energy, that was a card that just flashed out. I don't take cards that don't flip. I only take cards that flip up face up. But that was the card that is right there. And I feel I get the sense that it flipped out that way. It shot out that way for that purpose, almost imposing the question, are you ready to embrace your change? Are you ready to emerge? It's interesting. Right now, you can see the jewelry that I'm wearing. It's two butterflies. There's a butterfly right here and a butterfly right here. I've been drawn very recently to the butterfly totem animal totem. And butterflies, outside of being in so fact a very much a flashy, attractive, very much a colorful, attractive, bold, you know, alluring, magnetic kind of energy there in the animal totem form. Butterflies are also very, very powerful totems of change and transformation and a newfound emergence. We're all familiar with that story of the butterfly that emerges from the chrysalis. It's that kind of capturing that energy. And so there's a question there of like, are you willing to embrace that? Like fully take that change and take that newfound emergence of yourself, like grab it by the horn, so to speak. That's the question. You change in also there's this interesting notion here where you change in silence. In those quiet moments that you take there, where you breach away from the pack, you change. That process is further nurtured. That process is further aided. Interesting. Here are the messages. Beautiful angels, ascended masters, creators of the elemental realm, creators of nature, spirit guides, ancestors, brothers and sisters across our galaxies and realms who know us well and wish us well. Ooh. Ooh. We thank you. Yeah, just doubling down on that meditation energy. We thank you for another day of love, life, and purpose on this earthly plane. We ask you, let us always and channel us always with our own intuition, that deep place of inner knowing and wisdom. Any other messages of love, life, healing, and wisdom? This is great news for many soul beings here, because I'm getting a sense here, and I'm tapping into many soul beings here who have been feeling almost like attacked. You know that meme on the internet where it's like, I feel attacked. What's happening right now? It's like, yo, I feel attacked. I feel like energetically accosted. What is happening? Yeah, I'm getting where there's been like a sense of brave triumph over that feeling and over that time period, so to speak. Yeah, interesting. There it is. Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Yeah. Where you may have felt recently looks like absolutely like flattened out, down for the count. Yo, I'm overwhelmed. I feel attacked. I feel hopeless. Like I feel like shit. I feel like you just feel all the things that are not great and positive and sexy. It's like there's a sense where like you like overcome that and you survive that, and there's a bravery and a true found sense of bravery and wondrousness that you overcome that. Especially as expressed there in the faculties of your mind and thoughts, that's expressed here in this Knight of Swords energy. And now that's where, as mentioning before, that really like sexy, emergent, colorful, you could say like butterfly kind of energy, emergence energy, sort of emergence energy. Man, does it feel well earned. Yeah. Man, does it feel hard earned. Because damn, we've been through some shit. Yeah. To get there, to get to that emergent, colorful, newly expressed and transformed and changed energy. Man, we really had to overcome some shit energetically. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. I had to sit down. We had to really sit down. Yeah. Just doubling down here on this notion here of the bravery. Yeah, the bravery, the inner power, the real fortitude that required in overcoming and surviving that period, because it was tough. It faced us with many things that, many expressions, particularly within ourselves, that were very tough to face and that we may not have been ready to face. Yeah, I'm getting that expressed here in this Four of Cups energy. We weren't ready. It's like energetically what sort of came to us most recently, from the past there, as it informed the present, as it informs our present and onwards there in what I'm calling and framing the summer months here of July and August. We weren't ready, but it came, and wow, it was a lot. And it overwhelmed us, and it left us down for the count. But isn't it so amazing and wonderful that we survived? And that in the process, we got to discover really kind of what we're made of here energetically. the strength of ourselves, the bravery of ourselves, our capacities to overcome. Yeah, that's what I'm getting embodied here in this 9 of Wands energy. Yeah, it's a beautiful energy. It's very beautiful. And where you have found those stores within yourself, those stores of bravery, those stores of fortitude, those stores of determination, bless you, because that is a real marker and emblem of your growth, of your emotional growth, spiritual growth, psychological growth. Like you've really ascended and grown to a new place in that way. Before here, that chariot energy here is also, that's also an energy that speaks to a certain ascension process. Yeah, and a quality specifically of an ascension and growth process that in so fact is guided and where you're kept safe. And even also where your own sense of strength and fortitude keeps you safe. You're kept safe by the divine. We're kept safe by the divine. We're also kept safe by our own strength, our own determination, our own sense of bravery and determination. Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. Very beautiful. We have the messages of love, light, healing, and wisdom for our community and collective for summer, July and August. Let as always, and channel as always. Let's go ahead and cut the deck here. Ooh, so creative. Ooh, yeah, we want to create in this new cycle. Yeah, and for some reason the Empress energy just flashed out, and that's what just gave me. That's the feeling that I just got there. Really wanting to do something with this. Really want to express this. In a very, very new and wondrous way. Ooh. I'm getting changes of appearance also in that energy. That's just kind of flashing out there. A change in your appearance, even in a change in your own perception of yourself. Interesting. And the messages of love, light, healing, and wisdom for our community and collective for July and August for summer. Let as always, and channel as always, by my own intuition, that deep place of inner knowing and wisdom. And the messages. Yeah, this just seems like they're repeating this very strong notion here. A big quality here of growth here that's marked in this period here is the willingness to mind the inner world. A willingness and ability to mind the inner world and to express yourself in a balanced way between mind and heart. Recognizing that those two expressions of yourself and the ways in which that harmonious relationship is mind, which would make sense also. That energy that pulled out previously, the Two of Cups energy, speaks to that, among other things. It speaks to relationships within the physical world, but it also speaks to that connection of mind and heart, the harmonious connection, nonetheless. Which pathway do you choose? Which obligations and callings do you honor? Is aligned? Is also divinely supported? The one that is expressed with a balanced resonance and expression of mind and heart. If this feels right and resonates both in mind and heart, it's the right way to go. It's the right direction to take. It is a divinely supported and orchestrated pathway. Interesting. I'm getting where soul beings you might find yourself coming to those form of epiphanies and those forms of realization and embracing that. So I'm going to go ahead and take another glass of water. Speaking of water, the King of Cups, that was the energy that flashed out there. So the King of Cups, you'll notice here, I'm drawn to the trident here that he's holding, which is the trident of Poseidon. That symbol right here is a symbol of Poseidon or Neptune. And this Two of Wands energy. That was the other energy that flashed out. Which is giving me this energy of like considering directions. What is your direction? What is your pathway? And also minding the question of how do you create and manifest in the pathway that you choose. And there's again a recognition here where it is not, it's a journey, because there's nothing definite here that is expressed in this Two of Wands energy. Yeah. There's nothing set in stone. It almost is like even as you progress, you're still at the beginning. Embody that within your feeling and your mind and sentiment. There's an advice there. Interesting. Occupy the beginner's mind. Occupy the beginner's spirit. Understand and recognize that even as far as you might be progressing in a certain direction, it always stands to change. You always stand to discover something very new and emergent and newly present and emergent in your journey. And recognize that, particularly when there's a moment when your heart calls for that and brings that up to the surface. Oh, I see. Because the inner world, which oftentimes is not, it's so interesting how that functions. Yeah, I'm getting that in this combination of the High Priestess and the King of Cups. There's a notion here, it's ironic though, it's ironic in that way also, because there's a notion here that I'm getting in that combination in particular where it's like the inner world is so rich and so abundant, so rich, so abundant, and so woefully underutilized and undermined. That is the world and that is the world and the existence that is of ourselves, that is infinite, and yet it is utilized and mined the least compared to the physical world, which is finite. By definition, it's finite. And yet that's the world, and that is the part of our existences that we mine and that we obsess over the most. Why is that? We look for a sense of direction in mining conditions solely, or at least so abundantly so, in the physical world, which is by definition finite, and nothing of our rich inner selves in the rich inner world, which is so abundant and is infinite. There are like ever-flowing treasures. Yeah, this combination here, these four energies here of the, like I said, the High Priestess, the King of Cups, in some ways here, the Eight of Cups, and the Four of Cups, is giving me that like, there is so much treasure, abundant treasure, that is mine, that you can stand to find in the exploration of the inner world. And yet we go to that place the least, compared to like a very, very strong, like damn near obsession and fixation and all that occurs here in this finite physical universe. And yet we wonder, and in that way here, when we do so, which does not serve us, that expression does not serve us, we then wonder why we get so much discordancy and so much difficulty and so much struggle as we are expressed in our physical world. And in the physical ideal, you can say the ideal physical outcomes that we want to manifest and create, as coming from our intentions, as coming from our thoughts, as coming from our expressed desires, which I'm getting in this Knight of Swords energy. We find so much overwhelm, so much dissatisfaction in that world, even at some points a lack of clarity and a lack of ease in a direction that we choose. We feel like we always have to be battling so much, maybe because we're overemphasizing the needs and the importance of what's expressed in the physical world. to the complete disregard of all that is expressed within our very, very rich and abundant internal worlds. But perhaps that was one of the lessons and the points of integration that serves well here to be, and it's also a quality of change as you're emergent and new, as I mentioned here in this butterfly change, transformation, emergence energy. Perhaps that's a quality here that stands best for us to really utilize and mine leading forward. Do not underestimate here the power of the inner world. It's the inner world where we find our freedom. It's in the mining of the inner world where we find our truth and where we find our healing, and where we find our liberation and freedom, where we find absolution. Yeah. Linking back here again to this King of Cups energy. I'm almost getting, particularly in this combination of the Four of Cups, and the King of Cups energy, I'm getting in this energy here where in the process of going into the inner world, I also cannot help but be, there's a certain scorpionic, I feel like this illustration that they're trying to put here, it feels crab-like, but for some reason I was getting scorpionic, so to speak. I'm getting like a scorpionic energy in this Four of Cups energy, which makes sense. It's water energy, so it can be defined as either in the water signs Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. But I am getting here, particularly with this illustration here and this energy. For some reason, I'm just getting strong Neptune, Poseidon energy here, which again rules the 12th house there. It's like in that process of mining the inner world, we find absolution. We find our limitless, authentic self. We find our true path, the divinely guided and led path, the divinely supported path. We find our true calling. We find our true selves. I just keep giving me these phrases. Yeah. That is what we find. And that is one of the most beautiful treasures that is lent to us. Yeah, as we embody that and carry that into the physical world. That is one of the most wondrous gifts that are lent to us in the space when we mine and honor and respect the inner world. And the treasure troves that are present there in the inner world that are always standing at the ready to give something and lend something beautiful to us. Yeah, which I'm getting is embodied in the Six of Pentacles energy. Don't underestimate, I just keep getting here, just the strong, in particular with the High Priestess and the King of Cups on the spread here. And then a lot of water energy here that's on this spread here. This notion here where it's like, don't underestimate. Because that inner world reflects in the physical world. See, that's the thing also. There's this notion here where there's such an obsession about and singular fixation here on all that's present here in the physical world. But all that we mine here, in so fact, in the internal world reflects all that we mine here in our internal world here, and all that we transform and change and heal as expressed within our internal world, it is reflected. It does get to be reflected in our external world, in our physical world. One flows from the other. Creation is an inner to outer process. That's how it goes. That's how it flows. That is flow. Yeah. So make sure you are setting up those checks and balances. Yeah, checks and balances. That's what I'm getting strongly here in the Six of Pentacles energy also. Checks and balances. I would be remiss if I didn't mention here how this checks and balances energy does carry resonance also in material affairs. resolving and reconciling those expressions here. So I'm getting like bank accounts, finances, schedules, like work schedules, like those sort of things. It's almost like you're reshuffling the deck here of those expressions. Yeah, the checks and balances. Making sure there is newfound order and right accord in those two expressions. Those various expressions of your existence as flowing from the inner world and also to the outer world. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. And in doing so, you claim your inner power. Yeah, the energy that was at the bottom of the deck was the sun energy. That's like the true finding of your power. Just affirming here, you find power. And affirm power. You affirm your inner power in that way. And in that process. Interesting. Oh, these are ours? Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. And this is the end? Yep. Okay. Got it. Oh, this relationship. There are some folks here who are going to be finding some really yummy, lovely relationships here. Relationships that are going to really transform and like awaken themselves. Promote a certain awakening. Yeah. That's what I'm getting here just off the top here. I'm going to get to these four energies that just kind of that flipped out here. But I'm getting here just on this one side here. And these are all the energies for today. This combination, again, the Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck and the Judgment energy. I'm getting here wherein there's a certain awakening. There's there's a certain really yummy like awakening energy that I'm getting here in the role of relationships and in the world, in that space of a new connection. There's a newfound that is supported very much by a newfound knowing of self that helps you along and aids you along in your journey. I'm getting that energy here off the top here. But linking back here to this notion here of the checks and balances, as expressed here in this Six of Pentacles energy, and as it carries resonance here for your inner and your outer lives, it promotes and affirms your own personal power, as I'm getting here expressed in the Sun energy. It ironically allows you to be a master of your physical domain, as I'm getting here in this King of Pentacles energy. And it supports it supports a journey that feels much more smoothly, kind of coming down here from this very rough, overwhelmed Ten of Swords energy to this more easeful and peaceful, and where you're newly learned and like you've learned something, you've informed by something, you're carrying your lessons and having that pathway carry forth much more smoothly, as expressed here in the Six of Swords energy. Also, I'll note here the difference here between this 10 and this 6 is 4, which is an energy. The 4 energy is an energy of stability. It's an energy of safety. You feel like there's there's a foundational quality to that energy, which is interesting because in the previous session here for June, in that June session, that 4 energy also came up. So it's interesting how this theme here also of stability is also coming up again. Yeah. Yeah, in particular, again, just wrapping up here, this combination of the Sun and this Ace of Swords energy, I'm just getting so much a strong notion here of a newfound knowing of self as you are newly emergent within yourself. And how that is reflected and serves best to be reflected in how you manage and set up checks and balances between your inner world and your outer world, as those are expressed, as those are also expressed in the various relationships in your life. between mind and body, and also with other folks and other people in the world. And also how you negotiate and perceive your journey, your life journey. Again, recognizing that it's not one that is this perfect and it's not meant to be this perfectly, mind path from start to finish, A to B, but one that is in so fact centered with many different different stops and places that you go along the way that don't follow this perfect linear path. And blessedly so, because you're meant to learn from them and learn newly from them. And with that, create from them. From these what might seem here, these various different random directions that we're drawn into. There's an assurance here that I'm getting here in the Six of Swords energy. You are on your path. Do not worry, do not tarry. You are on your path. So long as you are truly centered and balanced in mind and heart. And that's what this energy, both of the King of Cups and the Two of Cups, refers to. Yeah, the King of Cups energy, the elemental qualities of the King of Cups, the King of Cups here is the air element of water, which speaks to, those elements speak to mind and heart, the emotional and the logical, the mental. And this energy here of the Two of Cups, oftentimes, again, there's definitely a relationship aspect, a very, very important, a very important relationship that's coming in from many soul beings here. If not already, it will very soon in the passage of time here, because especially with this judgment energy here, there's such a rising, awakening, newfound emergence of self energy that I'm getting here with that. But I'm getting here wherein, in so fact here, your own sense of stability and feeling safe, feeling comfort, feeling like you are well supported on your path, comes at any given point in time when you are centered in mind and heart, and making executive decisions as reflected in your physical world, as expressed here in this King of Pentacles energy, with that balance and resonance intact, firmly intact. And with your inner and outer world, both mind and both nurtured in equal due measure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that was a bit of a longer one here, but I guess blessedly so here, since this is a session here that's, wrapping up here, or at least summarizing both July and August for summer here. So I hope that helps. Thank you so much, and we will leave it off from there. All right, take care. Bye.